Hi, Emily.
Hi, Anna. What's up?
Not much.
We've started really high energy. Did you notice that? That's going to wake everybody who's listening to this up.
Literally.
Hello! Wake up! Sorry about that.
And happy Saturday. Welcome to another episode of The Road to B2 English.
She forgot what the name was.
I was going to say
the name of the
grammar
podcast was. Welcome to grammar. Welcome to English. Hello.
To be honest, after so long, I think my brain is just like, English, yes. And nothing else.
It's true. I feel like after so many episodes, I'm just like, what are we doing again? Ah, yes, teaching. Anyways, Anna, you said that you had something to tell me.
Yes, Emily, I've got a speaking exam coming up.
Do you?
I do, actually. It's not in English, but I do.
Oh, all right. I see. What's the language?
Swedish.
Oh, that's exciting. How do you feel?
No.
It's not exciting. That was just a lie.
Just no. But yeah, I've got a speaking exam coming up, so I need help and tips.
Okay. From me? In Swedish?
Yeah.
I don't know. Are they coming to just listen to me hyperventilate for no reason? Just practice hard. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm very qualified and very prepared. Not only to teach Anna some general tips on how to prepare for her speaking exam, but to show you guys some things that you can all do to help improve your skills for your speaking exam. Are we ready?
No.
Okay. Well, I'll begin by saying that we have 3 tips today. These 3 tips can, of course, depend on the exam that you're doing. However, I think it's important to know and be aware of these useful tips for any exam, because I think you can apply them to basically everything in life. So let's just begin, right? Number 1. If an examiner asks a closed question, don't just answer the closed question and leave it alone. You have to answer with a reason why as well.
Emily, just a quick question.
Yes.
What is a closed question as opposed to an open one?
An open question makes it sound very vague, no? But that's not true. So in English, when we learn in English class about grammar, which we don't do very often, we call yes/no questions closed questions, because the answer that you give for that question is limited to 2 options. If an examiner asks a closed question, then that means that they're asking a question that could have a yes or a no or a one-word answer, and we don't want to just respond to a question with yes. Let's do an example. Anna, do you like movies?
Yes.
You see how terrible that was? That was awful. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's bad. You know what's worse? Can you ask me the same question?
Do you like movies?
No.
Okay, I am turning off my microphone.
It's so much worse if it's negative, right? Like, why would you just say that? You're in an exam. You're crazy. What are you doing? But it happens. I think that the nerves and the stress can make us feel like so worried about what we're going to say that if we get a closed question, we go, I know how to answer that. Yes. And then that's all we say. So make sure that you answer with a reason why. So Anna, once again, do you like movies?
Yes, especially old movies. I quite like movies from the 70s.
Okay. Can you give me an example?
The Sting. It's my favorite movie of all time. I just like the vibe of films in the 70s, the vibe is different. It's nice.
It hits different. I get it. Okay, so Anna has given me a reason why after responding to the closed question with yes, and she's also given me an example. So she's given me a nice, perfect little answer to my question, which is something that could appear in your speaking exam. All right, Anna, do you want to give me a closed question that I can attempt to answer?
Ooh, sure. Do you like to cook?
Yes, actually. I'm not a very good cook, I'll be honest, but recently I have started learning how to cook. and I'm starting with the basics. So maybe in the future I will like it a little bit more. That obviously, I feel like I've given examples to my students before, and they've said like, "That was so good," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's because I'm from the place, the English speaking place." You don't worry about that, right? When you become more fluent, you have more of the ability to sort of say everything that you want to say. So don't worry that the things you say are very limited. Maybe your response to the question, do you like to cook, would be, no, I always prefer ordering food or asking my parents to cook for me because I think cooking is stressful. Much more basic, but a completely perfect and suitable answer to the question as well. Okay.
Yeah, and I feel like everyone should keep in mind that it's a language exam. You can lie. You don't have to actually think what you think.
You can say, I am allergic to food. I've never seen it before. I don't know what that is. Don't talk to me about it. What's a restaurant? What is that? Don't say that. Please don't say that. So, as we've seen, we have to be a bit more specific. Anna, can you move on to our next tip, please?
Tip number 2 is ask for clarification if necessary. Don't be afraid to ask about things you didn't understand. For example, if you didn't quite catch the question, you can say, "Can you repeat the question again, please?" Or you can say, "What was the last word you said?" You know, don't be afraid. I think it's equally as good to understand what you didn't understand about the question as it is to understand the full question. You can also say, what did you mean by something? If the examiner says a difficult word or a difficult structure that you didn't understand.
Of course, it's not great to have to ask for clarification because the examiner is always trying to be clear and understandable with you. But the truth is that sometimes we just misunderstand something, we mishear it, and we have to ask for help. Being able to use a question form in English is also a good sign that you know how to use the grammar as well. So there's no problem there, you know? There's no shame in it.
Yeah, sometimes me and Emily and I, sorry.
It's fine. I think that's... I don't know if that one's like kosher anymore. I'm pretty sure people are just like absolutely fine with that mistake these days.
I shall resign from my position as a police officer here at the Grammar Police.
I'm sorry.
But yeah,
she got cancelled so early in the career.
Sometimes Emily and I will be talking about something and I will have to ask. Like I understand English. But still, you know, it happens. Emily, have you ever been in a situation where you haven't clarified something and it's resulted into an embarrassing thing?
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt. I remember when I first moved to Spain, to Madrid specifically, I couldn't understand northern accents at all. Every time somebody spoke to me, they were so fast. Turns out that one day I was talking to the grandmother, and she was telling me about how one of her favourite ABBA songs reminded her of like a dead family member, but I heard ABBA and nothing else, so I said, ha ha ha, yeah, I love ABBA. And she was like, yeah. and only later on did I realize, because you know sometimes you have to process the language after the fact. So I was like, oh, she said dead. She said dead person. Oh no.
Yeah.
So there's no shame in asking for clarification. If I had said in that moment, I'm sorry, could you say that again? I didn't understand. I'm not a Spanish person, so it's completely understandable. And even if I was, it would be fine.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not even like fully just language related. For example, I've had situations where in Russia, that sarcasm is used a little differently in Russia, and I've understood something as sarcastic, and I've like joked along, but they were absolutely not being sarcastic about something.
Oh yeah. That's like a super British Spanish thing. In Spain, sarcasm isn't so popular, so me and my British friends will make a lot of sarcastic jokes, and Spanish people will be like, oh, why are you so sad? Don't be sad. And you're like, I'm not sad. That's a joke. It's very unfortunate. But it is interesting though. If you're in an informal situation as well, you don't, I mean, outside of an exam, obviously, you don't have to say, what did you mean? Can you repeat this? My favourite thing to say as an English person, if you're speaking to a friend and you didn't understand them, you can say, you what? A combination of you and what can be used to ask someone for a repetition of their statement. Let's give an example. Anna, do you want to go to the supermarket later on tonight and we can catch a movie maybe? What do you think?
You what?
Perfect. Couldn't be easier, right? Just scream you what at everybody. And just like to clarify one more time, this is not for examiners, not for an exam. Please do not shout you what and then say the grammar police told me to do that. So, asking for clarification is absolutely a completely necessary thing to do sometimes, so there's no shame in it at all.
Yeah, it's better to ask for clarification and admit you didn't understand something than to just, like, say answers to questions that you didn't understand.
Yes, exactly. And finally, we have tip number 3, using topic-specific vocabulary. I feel like this is something that is always worth mentioning, highlighting again, that if you have a topic in your exam that you should use, even if it is simple vocabulary, you may consider it to be simple, but it will be useful at the time when you are speaking or when you are writing or basically anything about that particular topic. Can you give us some examples, Anna?
Yes. So, for example, if you have a question related to education, which is quite common in exams, you could use words like teacher, learning, explanation. These are very simple words. I'm sure most of you know these. But it doesn't have to be, like Emily said, it doesn't have to be anything complicated. Just words like practice or exercise, score, correction, easy words, maybe even not so easy, depending on what level you're doing. But
absolutely.
Just using specific words related to the topic rather than just throwing around random words that could explain what you're trying to say.
Exactly. Some more examples while we're here. Maybe you will get the topic of crime or policing, which is quite a common grammar police, sorry. It's quite a common topic to get in these exams. So any words related to crime themselves, like stealing, law, murder, confession, punishment, these kinds of words, of course, the topic is more specific. It requires more specific vocabulary. But even as Anna said, the things that are more simple, the things that are connected, like stealing, killing, these things are going to be useful when you do your exam, when you do your speaking exam.
Yeah, I've actually got a funny story about the crime one.
Oh yeah, go on.
We had like a not very official but still semi-official, a graded speaking exam in secondary school, and it was in front of everyone. So the teacher just basically asked a question. Asked a question and everyone had to answer. And there was one girl who just did not understand nouns in English. And she didn't remember any. So she had one about crime, a question about crime, and she was every time she said, "Oh, the crime of killing, the crime of killing," and the teacher just went, "Do you mean murder?" And she was like, "Yes, murder." And it was just so endearing and funny. But it's simple words, just remember them.
Yes, it is true. Even if she said a simple word like, if she had just said killing instead of the crime of killing, it would have made complete sense in that situation. So, it's something that if you can't think of a word, that's another thing that you have to keep in mind, that lots of other words that are topic specific will be able to help you in that situation. So that's something that we should talk about in the future, what to do if you can't think of a word in an exam. This is a very useful skill to have, especially if you have to do lots of exams for university, for work, interviews, things like this. But yes, that ends our 3 important tips. Let us summarize once again. We had number 1, if an examiner asks a closed question, respond with a reason why.
Ask for clarification if necessary.
and make sure to use topic-specific vocabulary. Thank you so much for coming, guys, and we shall see you next week.
Yes, thank you everyone. See you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a comment below if you have any questions related to the topic, and we will try our best to respond to you. Please subscribe to the channel for a new podcast episode every Saturday, as well as essential tips during the week. See you next time!